The Great Flood, myths across the world, waters that submerge civilizations, gods who punish, humanity that begins again. The myth of the Great Flood isn't just biblical. It spans continents, languages, and millennia. From Mesopotamian tablets to Mayan texts, Indian legends to Aboriginal lore, nearly every culture holds a memory of a world drowned. But what lies beneath this universal tale? Is it just metaphor? A shared trauma? Or are we all remembering the same thing differently? In this video, we'll trace the flood myth through time, what ancient cultures believed, what the occult suggests, and why water keeps returning, to cleanse, to punish, or to restart the wheel of the world. Part 1, Mesopotamia, the first flood. Before Genesis, before Moses, before the idea of one God, in ancient Sumer by the Tigris and Euphrates, the same story echoed, the flood that almost ended it all. The Epic of Gilgamesh, over 4,000 years old, contains humanity's oldest flood myth. The gods are not all wise, they're emotional, disturbed by the noise of mankind. To restore silence, they choose destruction. But one god, Ea, breaks rank. He warns Utnapishtim not directly but through the walls of his home. A metaphor for intuition. Only the spiritually aware hear the unspoken. Utnapishtim builds a cube-shaped boat, a vessel of sacred geometry. Inside, family, animals, seeds, craftsmen, all life distilled. For 6 days and nights storms howl, then the ark rests on Mount Nisir. Utnapishtim releases a dove, a swallow, then a raven, symbols of soul, spirit and shadow. His reward? Immortality, but not celebration. He and his wife are sent beyond the world, witnesses to a humanity that almost didn't make it. The flood here is not about sin, it's about forgetting, a collapse of consciousness, a test of who listens. Part 2, India, the cosmic cycle. In Hindu tradition, time is circular, not linear. Enter Manu, the first man, the ancestor of humanity. One day while bathing, he's approached by a fish. This isn't just any fish, it speaks. It's Vishnu, the sustainer of the universe in his first avatar, Matsya. He warns Manu, a great flood is coming. But there's hope. Build a boat. Bring sages, seeds, pure animals, and the sacred Vedas. Preserve wisdom, not just life. The flood follows divine rhythm, not chaos. Manu ties his boat to Vishnu's horn, who guides him to a sacred mountain. A new age begins. In India, water is Maya, illusion. It dissolves forms to reveal the eternal. The flood isn't the end, it's transition. And the boat? It's consciousness, that which crosses illusion without sinking. Part 3, China, the way of water. In ancient China, the flood isn't punishment. It's chaos. The world is drowning. Crops fail. Villages vanish. The people cry, not for a prophet, but for a solution. Enter Yu the Great, not a warrior, but an engineer. He doesn't fight the flood. He listens to it. He maps the land, carves canals, redirects the flow. 13 years of patience. When he returns, even his son doesn't recognize him. Yu embodies Tao the way. Like water itself, he adapts, soft yet unstoppable. He isn't crowned by birth, but by virtue, by mastering the balance between nature and man. China's flood myth teaches us chaos is not evil. It's opportunity. The unprepared perish. The wise reshape the flow. Part 4, Americas, Earth's revolt. The indigenous peoples of the Americas saw Earth not as scenery, but as a living being. In the Maya Popol Vuh, the gods create humans from clay, too weak, then wood, strong but soulless. These humans eat, sleep, multiply, but don't pray. No gratitude, no awareness. So the gods erase them. Resin rain. Animals attack. Rivers devour. A brutal reset. Among the Incas, the god Viracocha floods the world to destroy a race of arrogant giants. From Lake Titicaca, he speaks a new world into being, creation through the divine word. For the Hopi, we live in the fourth world. The last three, destroyed. One by fire, one by ice, one by water. The survivors? Not lucky. They were warned by the ant people, beings who took them underground. There they learned silence, humility, survival. Floods in American myths are not one-time events. They are initiations, trials of the soul, not punishment but purification. Part 5, Atlantis, the Forgotten Wisdom. Now we dive deeper into myth, mystery, and lost civilizations. Plato's Atlantis is no fairy tale. It's a memory shared by Egyptian priests, a world of beauty, balance, and technology. Until hubris took over, the Atlanteans turned divine wisdom into ambition, power overshadowed spirit, and in a single day the island sank. Atlantis represents both human potential and human downfall. Not from ignorance, but from forgetting the sacred. Occultists like Blavatsky and Steiner saw Atlantis as an archetype, real or symbolic, of a golden age lost to spiritual amnesia. Part 6, Bible and Beyond, Covenants and Codes. The Bible gives us Noah, a righteous man, a giant boat, 40 days and nights of rain, then the rainbow, God's covenant. But the story is symbolic. The number 40 repeats in Scripture, always tied to transformation. 40 days in the desert, 40 years of wandering, it means alchemical purification. The ark itself? A floating Athanor, an alchemist's furnace. Inside, the old dissolves, the new is reborn. And the rainbow? In esotericism, it's more than pretty light. It's the full spectrum of consciousness, a divine bridge. In apocryphal texts like the Book of Enoch, things get darker. Angels fall. Giants walk the earth. Forbidden knowledge spreads, astrology, war, makeup. The flood becomes not just divine justice but cosmic containment, a reset to keep sacred knowledge from corruption. The flood, then, isn't anti-knowledge. It's anti-ego. Conclusion. Across myths and continents, one truth emerges. The flood is not just destruction. It is memory. Those who survive are not the strongest but the most awake, the ones who listen to whispers, who build not in haste but in silence and awareness. Whether it's Utnapishtim, Manu, you, the Hopi, or Noah, they all do the same thing. They prepare. They build. They carry the seed of something worth preserving. The flood represents the collapse of a world too lost in itself, too loud, too proud, too disconnected, but it also carries the blueprint of rebirth. Water destroys, yes, but it also cleanses, prepares, transforms. Maybe the question isn't when the next flood will come, but whether you've built your ark,